You are watching the biggest, the largest, the highest, the greatest, the tallest, and the mightiest African spiritual platform. My name is Queen Hadasha. Call me Empress Makida. I am Labraska, the Sun Goddess, the Spear of Destiny. Call me the Woman of Peace. I am the world star number 8. Maame Grace Zeriako, Edini Doso. I welcome you. Call me Jezebel. Call me Nabole Gaia. Call me Hawa Asa. All these names, I respond to them. I welcome you to another great episode. My people, I love you, love you with love. Love, and hate. We are Pearls, we are Consciousness family. It's another great day. It's going to be a great episode today. We have one of our brothers here who is going to talk to us about culture, program, and system. I introduce our guest for today to all of us. Papa, we welcome you to Revelations.
Thank you.
Great. Today is your first time on this bigger platform. So pay obeisance to the followers, greet them, and introduce yourself to us. If there are any loved ones you want to say hello to, it's allowed.
Greetings to all Africans. Greetings to all humanity who believe in consciousness, who think that it is time for us to awaken to our realities and it is time for us to uplift ourselves. Yes, wherever you are watching this program, I think that this is a great program and I'm here to share my thoughts on certain aspects that I believe is going to lift the African spirit and the diasporan spirit in general. I am Ajin Tettey. I am an artist by practice. I am a teacher. So in general, I'm a creative. I prefer to refer to myself as a traveler of the mind.
Traveler of the mind?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so today we have a traveler of the mind on set. Can we say this?
You may.
We welcome you.
Thank you.
We appreciate your presence. Abusia, your guest for today, we are going to discuss culture, program, and systems. So when you were introducing yourself or when you were greeting the people, you said something. What do you think about Africans? Who is an African? Who is an African?
When we say an African, I would like to look at it as a nation. A nation, it's a group of people that can trace themselves to a common lineage. They have something in common that holds them or binds them together. So all people who identify with the African continent, who either they are brown, dark, but believe in the idea of Africa. Currently, we label ourselves under the umbrella of Africa. Yes, we've been told by history that there used to be a land called Kemet, where most of us were, for some reasons, we moved towards different directions in search of better situations or for particular reason, be it war or farming, or to desert what we have experimented with and we feel we've been burnt by materialism. So let's look for another means. Let's come in commune with nature. Most of us in West Africa, that is what brought us away from Nubia. I've been told there has been some excavations around Nubia. They realized that the people that didn't move because of disease or anything. I find out that these people are living here in Ghana. But then that is for another day. So when I say I'm referring to Africans, I mean everybody that identify with this continent in good spirit.
That is an African.
Yes.
Do you believe in anything?
Yeah, I believe in something, but belief is a very dangerous thing. Yes, I have come to the point that belief can be dangerous. Yes, but I believe there is a force that created us all. That force depends on how you're looking at it. You may say it is singular, it is plural, it has a name, it doesn't have a name. So I believe in the supreme force that created all living things.
But so what makes believing dangerous?
Okay. Believe usually you are not able to test what is just a matter of I believe it is there. It's not a matter of knowledge. Sometimes when you find yourself within a belief system or an organization like religion, you are not critical of some of the things that you believe because your mother believed it, so you believed it. Oh, if you question it, the members within will tell you that, how come you are questioning it? Your great-grandparents believed it, so who are you to question it? That is why I say belief can be dangerous.
But do we have to question belief?
We have to question belief.
What will be some of the questions?
Okay. What is the basis of this belief that we are holding on to? Is it scientific? Is it real? In fact, now that I've introduced scientific, usually there are some misconceptions about certain words and their use. We hold them within a certain range, and any other thing we do not want to look at. When we say science, what is science? Science is the study of nature. So if science is the study of nature through observation, experimentation, investigation, anything we do can be scientific, can be scientifically looked at. It's not everything that we can get answers, but then we can use logic to find out that what I am trying to say, what is the source of it. Let's say, if I may give an analogy to a belief that can be dangerous. To say that without a name, or there is one particular name that all men, or one particular language that is chosen for all men, I think that that is questionable. I think that I need to question that, because fortunately, unfortunately, I may be or may not be part of. These are things that can create barriers or can create some form of discrimination for others. So if somebody is born outside a particular language or a particular belief system, it means that then the person is not of worth. Or let's say you have to, there are practices when it comes to belief, once somebody joins, you have to change your name. These are things that I believe that makes belief dangerous. Some can even kill because of what they believe. They have no doubt in their minds that they are doing wrong. What they believe says that once you do not believe, you must be killed.
So because of that, should we just live like that without believing anything?
We cannot live like that. Life itself is a risk. For me to step out of my bedroom, the first step I take can be very fatal. So almost everything we do is a risk. Does it mean that for the knowledge that anything can be risked, I shouldn't go out? So it doesn't mean that don't believe, but then you have to believe with reason. You have to tread cautiously on whatever you say you believe in.
You are watching The Biggest. So you as a mind traveler, what is your way of life?
My way of life is to relate to my existence based on what I encounter. No preconceived ideas, because whatever you hold can be a baggage. So everything I engage with, I start from a point of zero, then I take it on from there. What is this? No, don't hold any bias against anything until you have interrogated to a point.
So that's the way of your way of life, or
Yes.
a way of life for someone who is a mind traveler.
That is my way of life. When I should narrow it to my travel, then it allows me to get to understand that everything we do is based on where we stand from our mind. We are all individuals who operate from a certain self. That self engages with so many other individuals. What I get from you may be different from how I perceive it. So then, as a mind person, I engage you based on my interpretations of who is before me or what is happening, every situation and how I must respond to it.
Every situation and how we should respond to it, or we must respond to it. You are watching The Biggest. Okay, so your topic is culture, program, and systems. I want you to define these three words before you get into your topic.
Okay. When we say culture, culture is a broad term. Every aspect of our life, there is some form of culture. Culture is a way of life or interaction between different things and how they interplay to serve a group of people. So culture is a way of life that a group of people live or interact with themselves. So it can be their collective mindsets over a period of time, their belief system, their structures, social structures that they follow, the kind of food that they eat, their dance, their music. Then when I say programming, I mean programs. We are programs. How something is organized. So how we organize our mind. There's an analogy. If I will use the computer as it's a written program that allows the physical thing that we see to operate. Without that written program, it cannot function. No matter how beautiful, how nice the gadget is, its main usefulness is based on the written program that instructs it on what it should do. Every human being is fashioned in this regard. Now, when I come to systems, a system are different things that work together to serve one particular purpose. They relate, though they may be doing their individual things, together they serve a purpose. So let's say the digestive system, so many parts of the human body start from the mouth, then it goes inside, then to the ends at the small the large intestine, that's the colon, then it gets out. This is a complete system, different things, but then they are organized. In fact, the human body is made up of millions of micro cells, which we are told they are all alive. They work together to serve one particular purpose. So that is a system. Then a program. Then how we use systems and programs to get our culture the way we want it to be, to crystallize into one particular culture that we believe that will serve us.
Okay, so the topic is culture, program, and systems. Take us through.
Okay. Now, we are in a time that everybody is saying we should be awake, or we want to emancipate as Africans. Now, if I wake up and I have no tool or I have no guidance, where am I going to? Now understand that somebody is cheating me. Understand that leadership has not led me to where we are supposed to go. But I have no idea what particular program to follow. So then it means that I become more confused. I know that something is wrong, but I cannot do anything about it. So then we need to make conscious effort to develop strategies and programs that will gradually lead us to what I call into a synergy of conscious minds to serve the kind of interests that we want to see, or we want to see in Africa. If I want to go further, let me give an example. Coming here, I saw that in the middle of the city, there's litter everywhere. Yes. How do you deal with matters like this? There must be some conscious efforts. I think all of us know what the problems are. We have beautiful idea. I don't think majority of us want to see our cities in the state that we find it. So what do? Consciously draw a program. Start from the base where we train our children, the home, the classroom, the churches, the mosque. Make sure that you put structures in place. Today we are in an age where technology, social media is there. When somebody offends, we will deal with the person. So how do we do that? Go educate the children, teach us how to do segregation. And these are not things that is far-fetched. We are already practicing them, but then these are things that it has become individuals that are doing it, but then collectively it has not crystallized, it has not formed a collective consciousness. So we put measures in place and make sure that we get people to understand that this is the best practice that we want to go to. When we find, let's say, education, there is a school that we think is doing something that is right. Identify, get onto the ground, find the best schools. Instead, there's a certain notion that we have that, oh, we are the best schools. We are these schools competition. There's some unhealthy rivalry among us, though we want to get somewhere. Our practices are not moving us there because we have become a community of individuals. So let's say a school is a selling almost every year for about 20 years. In Ghana, we know schools that have a certain kind of name for themselves. Okay, we want to move Ghana to a state. We want to move Africa to a particular state. How do we do it? Somebody is doing it as individual. How do we replicate and multiply that excellence to a national and a continental level? Let's study what they are doing right. Then we replicate it on a larger scale.
So what are you replicating since you started knowing this?
Like you are doing on your platform. I'm sure some few years ago, consciousness or awakening on the African level was not in vogue as it is now. Now, the last time I was having a conversation with a colleague, and it says everywhere turns on social media, everybody is talking about woke. What is this awakening cry? And we are not seeing anything. The smaller conversations that we are having and the steps. So what I do is that within my enclave, my small area or perimeter of influence, I try to let people understand and practice some of these things. Let's say littering. As a classroom teacher, possibly when I'm in town, I'm sure possibly as I sit here, I have a pure water folded in my pocket. So sometimes when I'm teaching, I pull it out and show it to them that, you see, if I keep a liter in my pocket until I find a dustbin, I put it inside, would that prevent me from, would the school say that, oh, I did not throw my liter on the floor, or when I didn't meet a dustbin, I shouldn't have put it in my pocket, so they are not employing me again. Now the children sit down and they say, no, they cannot employ. I said, so if I go to an organization for a service, will they say that because I did this, or it will be a plus? So these things that I talk about, I said, I have a certain principle which I call the fishers of men principle. If you know something, make sure the next person know it. Then teach it to the next person with a conscious effort that we want to create a very huge change in our cultural setting and mindset. So that is what I try to do and engage with others. And I'm sure that is how come I'm even on this big platform, engaging with a larger audience on such topics. Now, we've had leaders who may have these ideas, but then it starts and ends somewhere. It needs others to continue. Kwame Nkrumah is a clear example. He taught us something, that we need to first believe in ourselves. So this is where the consciousness comes in. Nothing comes by chance. To think that, oh, once I believe, then it will come into being. You know, it needs practical steps to realize it. Because knowledge itself, you may know, we all have beautiful ideas. Knowledge is useless unless it is put into practice. So we have to adapt a conscious effort to make sure that we are creating the needed change that we want.
Okay, we have to create the needed change that we want. So your advice to the public and everybody that is watching us.
Okay, what I would say is that we all have certain things that we define as good. We need to have engagements, regular engagements. I'm told it's in Chi. I think if I remember it, Kasatintin something ponko.
Kasatintin kumponko.
Yes, in English it says that speeches do not make men. So it is not about the plenty talk. Now I'm told there's something called NATO. When you no action but a lot of talk. So let's move our talking from basically, if you grow up in Ghana, I'm using Ghana, we are using Ghana as a test case for the larger African because this is our reference, yes. If you grow up in Ghana, almost everybody seems to know what our problems are. So then the question comes to people ask, so why are we still where we are? Because then there's no conscious effort to look at our problems scientifically. If we can be able to identify that, okay, when it comes to media, Revelations is doing wonderful. They are following. Instead of creating unnecessary rivalry, envy, let us look at the positive. How are they doing it? Let them teach us how we can replicate it, how we can get it to a global scale. When it comes to it, I do not want to go there, but I may have to go there. In recent times, I fell in love with a very beautiful idea, planting for food and jobs. I have so much hope that when it has been implemented well, it will serve the Ghanaian community. But today, if you ask me, I went to a certain institution that said that they were giving money to train farmers. The initial raw material was provided. There wasn't any follow-up. So the whole project fell through. So we need to have a conscious effort, conscious engagement, make sure that what we want, what are the things that we value, set them apart. Clearly in our minds, this is what we want to be as a society. How do we make sure that we move towards it? What prevents us from talking to our next door neighbors? We've been talking about this ECOWAS thing, free movements, but then now social media is even showing us more of it, that it's just a talk shop. Because if I take my passport and I try to go to just to go here, l'argent, donne-moi l'argent, give me money. Meanwhile, we have done or spent money trying to make sure that these things work. So what I'm saying is that let us consciously take steps to make sure this is what we want. We should look at the long term. We tend to look at the now. Our problem is looking at the now. What do I get today? So the bigger sacrifice, Yeshua, aka Jesus Christ, did a sacrifice that did not materialize in a lifetime. It taught certain principles. It is expected that generation will come and benefit from it. So we should learn to make sacrifices looking at the bigger picture.
Looking at the bigger picture, that's your advice for the public?
Yes.
Is there any social media handles you want to give out? Maybe somebody would want to call and ask you questions.
Okay. I am on Facebook as Joshua Ajin Tettey.
Okay, thank you so much for coming. We do appreciate you. Abusia, this is our own. I tell you, if we put all our collective efforts into this, Africa will be great again and Ghana will be greater again. Thank you so much for watching Revelations. Shalom.